The altcoins are heating up and we're seeing some hot price action from XRP. Is XRP also worth it as it breaks $3? Is there more room to grow? What catalyst do we have? We'll talk about that along with hot IPOs, Fed rate cut chances, along with
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with the intro not just being a catchy warning, but it's also a lifestyle. 72 out of 100 altcoin season, baby. We're starting to roar. And if you look at some of the biggest crypto out there, BNB, like I told you, we're getting close to that $1,000 mark. XRP up 4.5%. Meanwhile, BTC is only up 1%. ETH is up 4.6, BNB 3.75. Yes, we're almost officially into altcoin season. We get there when we hit 75 out of 100. Volume, it's Saturday and we're at 165 billion. That's good for a weekend. Now, before we get into the crypto news, you know the deal, baby. Your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. NSK9117 says, oh, I wish your puppy would start feeling better. Same. She's really not doing good. And the stuff with the dogs is so sad because it happens so fast. And you don't get like the early warning signs like you do in humans. And the really sad thing about it, and I don't know if I got a lot of dog viewers in the audience, is my dogs are like people in my house. They sleep in the beds with us. They sit at the table with us when they eat. No, for real. My big dog actually has a seat at the table that we have to pull out a chair for, and she sits at the table and eats with us. Yeah, our dogs are like people. And it's really sad when it happens. So it kind of puts a damper in the house. Says Ripple and XRP need to start taking bigger steps to stay up in leading position. Of course, the SEC and government not being much help lately. I have no doubt that Ripple is going to do the right things. It's just hard because now Tether's getting into the US stablecoin mix. And think this is well after regs. And that's what's going to happen to the alts. The alts are going to get regs, and you're going to see companies getting in, buying up the alts for strategic reserves and using them. I'm bullish about that. Manuel Ibarra says, I'm bummed that Bullish didn't perform like Circle did. Well, what about Gemini's IPO? Bullish was kind of meh. Gemini's was kind of meh as well. And a lot of you commenting didn't get close to your Gemini fulfillment. Speaking of, Gemini co-founders tout the golden age of innovation amid Trump's pro-crypto policies. Look, you're going to see a lot of IPOs, crypto-related IPOs coming in. And what's really funky about that is, think about this. This is crypto IPOs tapping traditional finance markets. Yeah. We're getting traditional finance money sliding into crypto, baby. This is what they said. This administration and President Trump are obviously very pro-crypto, pro-business, and pro-innovation. Cameron Winklevoss, Gemini's co-founder, said during an interview on Friday. That's very important to have the president and the White House sort of behind the growth of this industry. And I think every promise that was made has been kept false. What about the XRP Sol and ADA reserve? What about the audit on Fort Knox? What about the Epstein files? Just throwing it out there. Look, I'm fair on both sides. All right? I call him out. I called out Patrick McHenry for being a piece of shit when he headed up the committee, right? I also call out Maxine Waters. I also call out the Shermanator. So it doesn't matter on what side of the aisle you are. You either perform or you don't. Atkins, delay. Gensler, delay. This is what he continues to say. And I think every promise that is made has been kept. Okay, we obviously learned that was false. And then some. So we're very encouraged with everything we've been seeing. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He also promised that we were going to have regs for crypto by now. That also didn't turn out to be true either. So, you see, more noses up the beeholes of important and powerful players. Now, that being said, Trump has been great for crypto. The best price action that we've had in crypto has come when? November election time, with the secondary big pump coming from when? Crypto week. It's like Shark Week, but for crypto people. So, I get what they're saying, but you can't say every promise has been kept. But then again, look, they're trying to play nice with the big guy because the big guy makes the rules. Fed rate cut bet policy clarity to drive capital rotation in altcoins. Yo, pay attention, 72 out of 100. This is juicy, baby. Let's talk about it. All right, what do we got going on? This, according to an analyst, widespread expectations are is that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates. Essentially, 100% chance that we're going to get a cut. 93% chance that it's going to be a quarter cut, 7% chance that it's going to be a 50 basis point cut. The analyst highlighted several statements from several experts in the financial industry who have stated why an interest rate cut of up to 50 basis points could be ideal for the economy. Look, it would have been better if we had a quarter last cut meeting and a quarter this meeting. A 50 all at once might send some bad signals to the market that Jerome messed up and he waited too long. Among such highlights are the increasing unemployment rates and, yeah, the redoing of the jobs. That wasn't good either. The government also reported job openings, available workers, leaving investors and economic observers expectant of imminent rate cuts. Although many experts project a possible 50 basis rate cut during the next FOMC, the analysts believe the government would probably cut it by 25. Now, here's the deal. They say we're going to get a cut. I'm still afraid. I'm part of the small minority out there that thinks we're not going to get a cut. Yeah, I think he's going to pause one more meeting and say, oh, tariffs. Oh, inflation. CPI data came out super bad, which isn't good for us. I almost wonder if he's going to pause one more time. I really, really do. Either way, you want the latest odds, I've got them all linked to everyone in the screen down below. Well, in the description down below. It's on my screen, but it's in the description down below. XRP breaking $3. Is it still too early to invest or too late? By the way, happy motherfucking Saturday, everyone. You having your coffee? You having your tea? You having your morning tasty rips? XRP climbed above $3 for the first time in weeks, gaining more than 10% in the last 7 days. Yeah, it's looked pretty good. Token is also entering an important week as markets wait for the Federal Reserve's rate. I'm telling you, everyone right now is talking about FOMC. You're going to see everyone this whole week talk about the Fed. Now, do I think it's too late to get an XP? No, I don't. It just depends on how long you want to hodl it for. And I'm looking at what happened with stablecoins. See, when the stablecoin regs happened, you had some players launch stablecoins before the regs, right? USDT, USDC, they all launched stuff well before. Then you saw Tether launch a stablecoin compliant after the stablecoin regs were made. So you're seeing different waves of it, and you're going to see the same thing with XRP. You're going to see some players get into XRP at 50 cents. Some players get into XRP at $2, some at $3. Some players are going to get into XRP before regs. Some players are going to get into XRP the week that they get the votes for regs. And some players are going to be late to the party and they're going to get into XRP a year from now. Some people are going to be buying XRP 5 years from now. I mean, think of the Bitcoin hodl strategy people, right? Think of Sailor. Sailor's been buying BTC for a while, right? Now, new people are buying BTC. There's always someone new buying. There's always someone new buying gold. There's always someone new buying silver. So no, it's never too late. It just depends on your perspective and your horizon. How long can you hodl and invest for? So, short term, we're looking good. Long term, yeah, I still believe we're looking really good. Overall crypto market, I think it's looking actually really, really good right now. I mean, at the prices that we're at, we haven't seen Bitcoin really move here. But the alts are, this is telling us everything we need to know. Market cap, $4.09 trillion. Fear and greed, we're still strong at 53 out of 100, which is good. We're not going to have too much panic in the market. XRP looks juicy. Look at this. Here's your 7-day chart for you. Up 12.5%. Here's the 1-month chart to show you the bottom that we hit here at a low of 270, and we bounce back up. And I said, how many times, everyone, we're getting back to $3, and a lot of people are like, bro, you're stupid. We're not getting back to $3. We're going back to 2. And I said, no, we're getting back to 3. People are taking profits. That's how crypto works. We're going to get back to 3. That's where the new support level is for XRP. And boom, here we are back at 3. Volume for XRP up 27%. So pay attention to that. Volume for overall crypto market up 10%. XRP's volume up 27%. So favorably more so for XRP at $6.5 billion. Now, in the candlesticks that we've been dealing with today, what are we looking at? Highs of 318 on these sticks, so we're not ready yet to break that 320 money mark. But what's interesting about that is you zoom out to the 1 month, right? And you're right here lining up. Yeah, it's timing up with the FOMC meeting, right? So, all eyes on the 17th as Jerome Powell takes the mic. We'll be covering it live, and the markets have it at 100% chance that he's going to cut. The question is how much. I still think he's going to pause. And my fear is if he pauses, the market takes a poop. So I've got dry powder ready. But if he cuts, hey, I think we're going to stay in the green. And I think we're going to go even more green. Why? Because we got ETFs and regs coming up, baby. And we're going to be getting new buyers. So for real, is it too late to get into XRP? Well, say that to the same people. Is it too late to get into Bitcoin at 114,000 or 120,000? There were people out there when Bitcoin was 30,000. They were like, yo, you should have gotten in when BTC was 10,000. And now look at it. My point is, you just got to zoom out. You got to know what your risk tolerance is. You got to know what your goals are. It's the same thing for housing, right? A lot of people look at housing and go, oh, this is expensive. Well, if you would have bought a house 5 years ago compared to now, you'd be making a lot of money. And think, this is all before altcoin regs. And you're starting to see altcoin dominance pick up going into the regs. So the market's starting to price that action in. So do I think $3 is a point where you're like, oh, bro, I can't get in anymore after this? No. Because I think a few years down the road, we're going to be talking $5. We're going to be talking $6. We're going to be talking higher prices. We're going to be talking Bitcoin at 130, 140. You get my point here. And what happens is you have different waves of money coming in. Just like with stablecoins, you have different waves, not just money-wise, but time-wise coming into the market. So, $3 XRP, I told you we would be back at the floor. So for everyone out there that's like, bro, you're negative. No, I was being realistic. When we were at the 270, 275 mark, I kept saying, we'll get to 3. I'm not saying hopium. We'll get to 3. That's what the charts are telling us. That's what the news is telling us. That's what the market's telling us. I was being realistic. Bullishly realistic. Take that, naysayers. So, choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches.